Good evening, SAU. You are now watching the Bird's Eye View on WAUG, providing a full scope of St. Augustine's University. I am your host, Demarcus Williams, Associate Vice President of Global Marketing and Communications, and we are so excited to have with us our two men's and women's track coaches here at St. Augustine's University, starting with our women's head coach, Coach Elizabeth Gary, class of 92, and our men's head coach, Coach Bershawn Batman Jackson, class of 2010. How are you all doing tonight? All right, well, we're going to jump right in it. So, coaches, both of your journeys before coming to your current role at SAU has been unique as successful alums in track and field. Mm-hmm. How have you all navigated through this season, and how have you all been able to keep the team together and maintain the support of alumni and community, alumni and the community amidst these challenges?
The alumni has been very supportive, especially since both of us were members of the men and women's team. They wanted to see the track and field team flourish again and go back to what it once was before Coach Williams' departure. So they've been very supportive. Coming to track meets, making sure that the kids have meals and Gatorade. I mean, showing up in places that we didn't even anticipate them to be, including pin relays recently.
Yeah, the love been unmatched. I think one of the reasons I came to St. Augustine University is because of that village, right? I think it takes a village, and thank God that I was one athlete once here, and I created a relationship with so many great people, and they want to see us flourish. So the alumni base, friends, family, people in the community, they understand the amazing tradition we have as a track program, and they're willing to do whatever it takes for us to be successful. And it's been a tough journey, but we got the support behind us that give us the ammunition to keep wanting to fight.
Thank you for that. And both of you are witnesses to the amazing journey that St. Augustine's University has had in cross country and track and field, mm-hmm. with a combined 39 NCAA Division II national championships, now 283 combined individual championships, mm-hmm. thanks to Terrell Robinson, 173 combined CIAA championships, over 40 Olympians, and a 95% graduation rate. Mm-hmm. With all of that being said, with all of the accomplishments that you've had, 8 state championships, bronze medal in the U.S. In the World Olympics, mm-hmm. in national championships, why did you all choose to come home in 2022? And how were you all able to rebuild such a competitive program so quickly?
That's a great question. I was a kid from Miami, Florida. Didn't really, track went to my destiny, right? And I heard a guy named George Williams wanted to recruit me, and a guy named Jesse Holt, him and Coach Williams was friends. And of course, they talked and they say, look, go to this guy, you know what it takes. He's gonna help you achieve your goals. And I came to St. Aug, and I done just that. To date, I'm still the NCAA record holder. I didn't lose a single race in college. I opted my collegiate eligibility after my freshman year, and I turned professional, and I had a career that I could never imagine. And I paid all to St. Aug. Coach Williams gave me that landscape. Coach Williams, he invested in me, and he showed me that it's not really where you at, it's where you're going. If you go to a school and the coach believes in you and he's willing to invest in you, then sky's the limit. Not only that, I created so many relationships with so many friends, like people I met at St. Aug, so the village alone. And when they ask me for the job, I'm like, hell, I would rather be here than anywhere else. I want kids to understand you go to St. Aug and still be successful. You go to a HBCU and still be successful in life, on the track and also off the track. And, it was my duty to come and keep this legacy going. 39 national titles. You talk about so many Olympians. You talk about so many CIAA champions. And we want to keep that tradition going. Coach Williams done an amazing job creating this platform, and he created a strong foundation. Now I want to continue to build this skyscraper on this foundation he created.
Coach Gary.
To have an opportunity to come back home after being on the high school level for so many years and being successful. And for the two schools to literally be about 3 miles apart. And I can get over here in the afternoon and be in place for track practice and, any other duties that I need to fulfill. Just coming back home and having the opportunity after sending kids to college and helping them to be able to obtain scholarships, and now being able to be on the other end and offer a young person a scholarship and be able to shape their future and provide them with the opportunity that they may not have otherwise been able to have. It was a no-brainer to be back home and just to be on a campus that helped shape and mold and make me. It was an easy decision and a very exciting one. And I'm thankful that I have the support of the administration here at St. Aug, as well as my principal at Southeast Raleigh High School.
And we are both glad, we are all glad to have you all home. We've seen such an amazing turnaround in the program in such a short period of time. And I want to talk a little bit more about that. Obviously, there's been a lot of headlines about St. Augustine's University this year. And given all the attention that we've received because of all of our challenges, what stories should be told about the university, especially within the athletic department? I mean, we've talked about all the invitations that we've had to these major D1 meets, the success of all of our athletes. What are some of the stories that people need to know about what's going on with St. Augustine's University's track and field program?
It's a lot, year 2, and we got 2 of the top teams in the country, not just locally, not just in the state, but in the country. So we thrive on bringing the best out of each and every student athlete we have. I thank God that I built relationships along my career and Coach Gary, that we able to go to meets for free and people willing to look out for us and give us opportunities that we'll never have. So I think the ultimate goal that me and Coach Gary said from the beginning, we're gonna give our kids the best experience possible. One of the greatest experiences I have in my career is being a St. Augustine student. So I want to give these kids what I didn't have, or give these kids better than what I had. So what they need to know is my kids are hardworking. They understand perseverance. They understand integrity. They understand that in life it's earned, not given. And they understand when the sweat dries what's next. So we put them characteristics in our kids to know that we know we're not going pro. So we don't go pro. How about we figure out now what we're going to do next? So our student athletes are remarkable, and everything they got, they earn. And I tell them every day, kick the door in. Even with everything going on, I tell my student athletes, let's bring that positive light the school needs. And my kids understand the assignment. We went to indoor nationals, and Terry Robertson Jr. was national champ. My 4x4 laid it all on the line. The Malaysia Johnson, she went and gave every bit that she had in her to, be second team All-American. So I think that me and Coach Gary, what we're doing is just basically letting these kids know anything you set your mind to, you can achieve, and nothing will be able to stop you. Even with adversity, let's come with a positive attitude, and let's continue to grind hard no matter what. And they understand the assignment, and I'm forever blessed to be in the situation where I can lead these kids to success.
Thank you, Coach. Coach Gary?
Also, from the very beginning, last year, we instilled in them that they are family. It's us, and then it's everyone else. And they bought into that. You usually can find them as they move about campus. They're typically together, looking out for each other, taking care of each other. And that was one of the things that we told them from the beginning, especially on the women's side, because all of them were from out of state last year, is that we expected for them to look out for each other. And then if they needed us, we're just a phone call away. We can get to campus quick. But they've done really well, working hard, putting in hours in study hall, and just buying into the program, because sometimes it takes a couple years for a high school student to make an adjustment from what they're typically used to and what they deem to be hard work, and then what it takes to be successful on the collegiate level.
Thank you for that. And we just had graduation, or as we call it at St. Augustine's, commencement,
Yes.
this past Saturday. And our team had 10 graduates cross the stage before competing at the CIAA Men's and Women's Championship. How was the team able to balance their studies and still compete at a high level during all of these challenges? And are there any academic student success stories that you all know of that stand out?
Yes, Terrell Robinson, he junior, maintains a 4.0. Cherie Wright as well. We also have a number of students on the team that are 3.5 and above or 3.0 and above. We also require, when we're traveling, especially if we're going to stay overnight, that they bring their laptops with them. So the expectation is that they are still maintaining and keeping up with what's taking place in class, whether they are actually sitting in the classroom or whether or not they're traveling. Because that was one of the expectations that Coach Williams had of us, is academics first, athletics, and then a controlled social life.
Yeah, and also to add to that, we got mandatory study hall. They go Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, or Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, where they do mandatory study hall, and we let the kids know that, look, use that time wisely, right? The goal is to go there, take time out your room, get off your phones, get off social media, and take time just to get your work. You know, time management is everything. So making sure they understand the importance of being a student athlete. So we try to, you know, make sure we push that narrative.
Thank you for that. And of course, at this past CIAA Outdoor Championship, our men placed fourth, our women took third. Although our goal was first place, how did it feel to still see the team continue to fight through adversity, and also to see Malaysia Johnson secure the Women's MVP award?
Malaysia works very hard, and she was very deserving of that award. She often puts a lot of pressure on herself to be successful, and so it was very well deserved. In spite of not having access to a full-time athletic trainer and having some struggles with strength and conditioning, Coach Bat is not only a coach, but massage therapist. We're, giving ice baths and, trying to get knots out. He's trying to get knots out. Coach Gary, come feel this. We need to take care of this. And we spent a lot of time making our own investment in them to get them treatment that we felt like they needed, because the body has to be able to repair itself, and if not, it'll break down and they won't be able to sustain it. And we did have some athletes that fell in that category, and they were not able to compete in the outdoor championship, particularly on the male side. And I do think that was the difference maker, because they would not have been fourth. Yeah. They would definitely have placed higher than that.
Easy.
But we had kids out with hamstring injuries and abductor injuries and just, you name it, just injuries that we were plagued with. And so it was unfortunate that they had to suffer because they weren't getting the treatment that they really needed to be able to get.
Yeah, and kind of to add to that, there was so many factors came into play, right? Like Coach Gary said, unfortunately, we had a limited trainer, and one of the things I try to do, I try to take pride in preparing my student athletes the best way I could and getting them prepared to compete at a high level. And injuries do come into play. And for the boys and also the girls, my ultimate goal is my kids to win nationals. I'd rather get that national publicity over the conference, and we try to put the best team out there. But with the boys, the guys that graduated, they missed all our events. So them points we lost, and then we had some really major points that was injured that just didn't compete at all. And then we had some kids that just didn't run them over for the rest of the year. So with all them factors, and to still come in fourth, that shows you the resilience our kids have. Because I think total we had 10 men to participate, 10 or 11 men, and we had about 16 girls. Which your bigger schools like Claflin, they had about 25 men. They had numbers. Virginia State had about 30, 35. So I think numbers matter. But our kids are exceptional. And our ultimate goal, like I said from the beginning, for us to compete at the highest level and be productive. So I had to sacrifice CIs so we could win the big title, which is the NCAA title. But I'm extremely proud. Like she said, Malaysia worked very, very hard. Sean Callawine, he did well in the 400-meter hurdles, which he's one of the top in the country. Our relays is always going to be exceptional. And I think from here, our athletes understand, like, look, I got your back. You're going to be okay. But what we have to deal with throughout the whole season when it comes to just maintenance in the body, like, I don't care how new your car is, if you don't change the oil, the engine going to blow. So it's been a rough season trying to just keep our kids in one piece and keeping them, you know, healthy enough to compete at the highest level. So I'm extremely proud about the third and fourth. Of course, we want to win. I'm very competitive, Coach Gary. I'm very competitive. I feel like I'm a sore loser. Like, you know, I feel like no one can outwork me. No one can outcoach me. No one can prepare their kids like I can. So that's how I look at it as a coach. And I still got that competitive edge to where I want to win, right? But I think timing is everything. And what we're doing with our program is exceptional. And it's time, they know I'm coming. They know we coming. So I'm happy to where they still took fourth, and I'm happy my girls took third. And next year's a new year. Just know we coming.
Yes, sir. And we got one last tune-up at Mount Olive before Nationals. What are y'all's thoughts leading up to the national championship? We're qualified in several events. We talk about relays, hurdles, the sprinter events. What are your thoughts leading up to that?
I'm extremely happy. Like, we had a workout session today, and they all look fantastic. So the biggest thing now is just tapering off, making sure we, you know, manage their body well. Last chance, I feel like Malaysia can get in the 200. She already in the 400. I think that my long jumper, Lanaja, she can qualify in long jump. You got Khalil West. I think he can qualify in long jump and also high jump. So I think we can. Last year in outdoor national, we took 2 athletes in nationals, Malaysia Johnson and Sean Callawine. This year we're going to take almost 15. So the goal is just to keep letting kids qualify, and let's keep building our program, because the ultimate goal for us is to win a national title, bring another NCAA title here to St. Augustine University.
All right. So our students were recently updated that summer school and fall registration is still taking place. Our athletic director, Dr. Lynn Dawson, also announced in a statement that we will be competing in 11 sports next year, 6 of them being men's and women's cross country, men's and women's track. How are you all currently recruiting?
Yes. The goal, Coach Batt and I, is to hit the ground running, to still go out and look for the best athletes that we can bring to the institution. And we will continue to do well and continue to shine on the track, on the field, and get those athletes that we think will be the difference maker for us here at the university, and, you know, be able to compete competitively in the CIAA, outside of the CIAA, in the region, in the nation. So yes, we are competing. We are making plans to bring some athletes to the campus, as well as take some trips and go out and look for those quality athletes that we feel like will be beneficial to us.
Yeah, and I'm gonna keep it candid. We want to win, right? And we want to bring in the best athletes that fits what we're trying to do, as far as mentality, as far as athletic ability, as far as smarts, because we want student athletes. So yes, we hitting the ground running. You know, we have, unfortunately, we have some kids that's getting the portal. There's so much uncertainty, but I think that we support them 100% with their decision, but the train got to keep going. So we out recruiting, we're trying to bring in the best kids, and we're trying to continue to build a national winning team.
And for those of you who are watching, just keep in mind that the key word is national. We compete for national championships.
Absolutely.
And so we have to keep saying this every show. But there's people that come on at different times. You know, we have other places that are saying different things about us and about our program. And sometimes we just have to say it again. Is St. Augustine's University still open?
Yes,
Yes.
we are open for business.
Have students still been coming to class?
Yes.
Yes.
Are faculty still teaching?
Yes.
Have students still received credit for their classes?
Yes.
And are we still competing next season?
Yes.
Yes.
Viewers, you've heard it here. We are still open. We're still competing next
Yes.
season. Tell everybody we are actively recruiting for players and athletes to join our teams. Now, despite our challenges, our faculty, our staff, our coaches made sure that the 10 members of our track team, along with our record, nearly our biggest class in 10 years, to cross the commencement stage last week with an accredited degree and finish with credits. How did it feel to see your athletes show up at the CIAA championships after crossing the commencement stage?
The fact that they, of course, wanted to be at their graduation, but also wanted to come and compete. Some students might not have done that. They might have been of the mindset, I'm going to focus on my graduation. That's all I'm going to worry about. But they literally got their degrees, ran, changed their clothes, and jumped on 40 and came, running in Durham County Stadium saying, I'm here. I want to, compete in my events. I want to be here for my team. I want to be here for my coaches, with their families in town, with everything else that they had going on. But they wanted to be in place for us. That just speaks volumes about their level of commitment and the fact that they knew that their teammates were, expecting them, depending on them to come and be in place and to try to compete, as well as celebrate, their graduation, because that's a big honor to graduate from college.
Yeah. For me, it was bittersweet. I'm the first in my family to receive a college degree, and I knew what it was like walking across the stage, and my family's sitting right there, and my coach is sitting right there. So I wanted to be there to watch them walk across the stage and share that moment with them and their family, because it means a lot to get your college degree, because track and field, you're going to run for so long, but that degree going to take you the next 50 years in your life, next 50, 60 years. So we understand the importance of getting a degree and how hard they work to get to that point, to get an education and get a college degree. So I wish I could have been there to love on them and hug them when they cross that stage and spend that moment in time with them. But watching them come to the track, and I felt really bad for 2 or 3 of the kids, because 3 of them just really, really wanted to compete, and they told them no, they couldn't compete. They got there too late, and they was heartbroken because they felt like they let their team down. They felt like they couldn't compete, and that's going to cost us to lose the CIAA title. So they were selfless. They thought about the team versus themselves. You know what I'm saying? And I told the kids, I'm forever proud and grateful to be in your life, and thank you for letting me be a part of your journey. So to watch them come out and have their tassels on, and the girls had their makeup looking beautiful. So it was, for me, it gave me chills. But I know me and Coach Gary wish we could have been there in person to watch them walk across the stage. It's unfortunate, but I'm forever grateful. My first graduating class, really my second one. We had 1 kid last year, but it's the biggest we had since I've been here. And to watch these kids go is like, wow, time goes so fast.
Wow. Now, we talked about the portal earlier. While there are many students and parents concerned about the university's future, there's still many hopeful that we're going to continue to thrive. If you're talking to a recruit or even some of your current athletes, what do you tell them about the team's plan for next season? And why should our current athletes return, and why should our prospective recruits come to St. Augustine's this fall?
I believe that the athletes that are looking to go to college and compete on the next level want to be with coaches like ourselves because of what we bring to the table, because of what we have to offer. I know that the news can put a damper on that. We've already lost a couple athletes because of the negativity that is constantly depicted in the news. But what we are ensuring our athletes is that if worse comes to worse, we will help them get to another university if that's what we need to do. We wouldn't be selfish and keep them here and have their courses to not be able to count for them, because we're talking about their life. And as Coach Bat said, when the sweat dries, because everyone is not going to the Olympics, but they are going to need a career. And so we're not just track and field coaches. We're thinking about what the next steps are for them in terms of their life. You know, we want to see them be successful. We want to read about them in the news and go to their weddings, you know, later and hear about the great things that they're doing at major companies and organizations and things like that. We want any student athlete that is currently here, of course, to remain here with us. But we also understand that they are afraid. Their parents are afraid. I think some of them would be willing to venture and stay, but they also want to make sure that their parents are happy, because for many of them, their parents are helping to take care of them financially. And so that is a big deal. And being parents ourselves and having kids in college, we definitely understand what that must feel like.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to look in the camera. St. Augustine University been since 1867. And I think we had a rich tradition, and we've been through so much to keep this university open. And I think that with that, we have to keep this legacy going. We're going to build for operation. We're going to be out, we're going to be grinding tooth and nails to bring in the best athletes, because you're going to get a good coach. You're going to get a great atmosphere. You're going to get coaches going to love on you like your parents would. You're going to get coaches that are going to be there every step of the way. You call me 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm coming. I think that with being successful, with having success in life, it stands on relationships, right? Which coach can you have to invest in you, invest in your future, and understand your strengths and weaknesses? And I think here at St. Augustine University, we're going to be here every step of the way. My coach did it for me. He gave me that blueprint, and now I got to do it for the next kid. And I think part of being a professional athlete is you make mistakes along your journey. Now, as a coach, I can teach my student athletes not to make the same mistakes I made and give them every possible opportunity to be successful. I know it's hard right now, and the rain not going to last forever, right? Right now, we're going through a little bit of turbulence, but everything always plays out. And you get a degree from here, you get a professional career from here, and you're going to cherish it for the rest of your life, because you understand what we stand on, and that's family.
Thanks, Coach. I'm ready to run through a brick wall myself. All right, listen. On a positive note, we have had tons of support from the alumni, from the community. We've had churches, several nonprofit organizations, different alumni families make huge donations. We just had a benefit concert. And then even for the track team, Renology did a big fundraiser during Dreamville. How does it feel to see more people coming forward to support the Falcon Pride Initiative, to support the track team, and how has that impacted the morale of our coaches and athletes to continue competing this season?
That gives us ammunition to keep wanting to fight. I can say it's hard. It's national. It's public, right? We all put it out there. We haven't been getting paid, but I go to work every day with a smile on my face and passion to work hard, because other people out there want to see us be successful. I thank Dr. Burgess for believing in us to make it happen. We haven't skipped a beat. We still went to pin relays. We still went to Arkansas. We still go to track. We travel for track meets, and our kids get an experience that most D1s don't get. So they give us that fight, that it give us that ammunition to say, let's keep pushing, let's keep going, and to see the community standing behind us and see Rhinology believing in some kids that he don't even know, and people giving us so many donations and giving us so many love. And Coach Gary said, oh, their church want to feed us, and that church want to give us some money. So I think that they give us that will to keep pushing, to keep fighting, to keep swinging, to keep showing up, to keep massaging our kids' legs, to keep putting them in ice baths, keep doing whatever it takes to help them kids continue to thrive and bring positive light to our school. My goal is to bring back home 4 national champions, right? And as long as we keep doing our job as coaches, and we see people supporting us, it makes us want to do our job. And when say, somebody cares. So it feels good to see people really going out their way to make sure we thrive.
I would also like to reiterate what Coach Batt said. There's just been a outpour of churches, as well as Alex, who's a godsend, who have been right there by his side, and he's traveled with us. Mm-hmm. He went with us to New York. He made sure we had things we needed when we went to Arkansas, as well as Dr. Burgess, calling to check on us and to make sure that, everything was good, as well as the board members. There have been several board members that have reached out to us as well, and I'm thankful for that as well. This past weekend at conference, we had a pastor of one of the churches that we visited to go and thank, who came to see us for the whole weekend. And I said, what are you doing here? And he said, I came to support you. I'm going to be here all weekend, who's also a good friend of our former coach, Coach Williams. And so we've been telling the kids there's a reason why, we have all these people that are surrounding us. God is putting his angels around us. And we know that that's a sign. We're going to get through this. And yes, it's dark right now, and it's hard to go without a paycheck, particularly for my partner, because I'm thankful that, I'm still at the high school, but this is his only source of income. So I've been trying to, keep him lifted up and talk about the examples and the different things that I see that are happening in the community for us. To show us, and something as simple as to have people say that we're praying for you, because we know where 2 or 3 are gathered, that things are going to happen. And so this is a dark time right now. I am remaining hopeful and optimistic that we're going to get through this, and then we're going to live to talk about how we made it through on the other side. And so we're so grateful to everyone that has reached out to us. The support has just it's meant so much, because as much as Coach Batt and I, try to be strong for the kids, when we're away from them and we're on the phone with each other, sometimes we have our moments because, it's almost like parenting. As parents, you try to keep certain things away from your kids, or you try to be strong, but sometimes they know that you're growing a little weary. But we also have to be uplifting and encouraging for each other as well, and lean on each other because it's a difficult time. But we're going to get through it together. Mm-hmm. And then the success on the other side is going to be so much greater, once this is all over. And I'm remaining optimistic that we're going to get through it. It's dark right now. It's sort of like, walking with your eyes closed and you can't really see where you're going. But at some point, the light hits your eyes, and that light is going to be when we get those resources that we need, so that, we can turn all of this around. Mm-hmm. And it's going to happen.
Amen to that.
It's going to happen.
And for those of you who are still watching, This is a great opportunity to support the Falcon Pride Initiative, to support our track team. You're watching the impact of your donations. And when you support the Falcon Pride Initiative, not only do you help support the university's accreditation efforts, not only do you support the stabilization of its finances, but you are also supporting SAU's athletics, our track team, and our athletes as they compete for their national championship. Coach.
I want to say one more thing. You know, if you watched the Olympic Games before, you see people on top of the podium and they cry. Mm-hmm. And we say, why are they crying? They're Olympic champion. They crying because they've been through something, mm-hmm. right? They've been through a struggle. They failed over and over and over, and then they finally prevailed. They finally did it. And I think with this situation we're in now, it's about persevering, mm-hmm. right? Can we persevere? And when we get through it, like Coach Gary said, it's going to be light at the other end of the tunnel. But I want to say this to all the institutions out there that loved on us. I thank God that throughout my professional career, I built relationships, right? It's been some schools out there that understand what we're going through and allowed us to have a season and run for free. I want to thank NC State for letting us run for free, Norfolk State, ECU, University of Penn, North Carolina A&T, University of South Carolina,
Arkansas,
University of Arkansas.
Mm-hmm. Johnson C. Smith, even this past weekend, made her trainer available to us. And the compliance officer reached out to us.
Also Shaw.
Shaw University.
You all ran at Duke as well.
Duke University.
I'm sorry, University of Duke let us run for free.
Yeah. And just, you know, when we got ready to go to Penn Relays the week before, we didn't have the money.
No.
We didn't have the money.
We ain't have no housing.
Yeah. The kids and I, we went to church. We found out we were actually supposed to be at a different church. But the pastor of the church that we were at, which is Martin Street, he quickly found out that we were there. And he said, I want 100% of everything that's given today to go to St. Augustine's University, to this track team, to their program. Wow. And by that Tuesday or Wednesday, we had the money from Martin Street Baptist Church and Watts Chapel to pay for our housing, mm-hmm. To go to Penn Relays. That's just one example of how God has been blessing us. St. Paul's Church downtown on Edenton Street, Wake Chapel Church, Pastor John Jasper Wilkins, St. Matthew's Church, Pastor Robinson, Pastor Brooks, mm-hmm. Poplar Springs Church. It's so many that have just wrapped their arms around us and made sure that we can still do what we love to do. There's God's angels, you know, embracing us and making sure that we're good.
So I can hear the passion in you all's voices, and I know that our viewers can too. And so I'm going to ask you this last question, and we'll be ready to go. In all of our previous episodes, all of our guests have given some powerful responses to explain why they believe in SAU. In spite of our accreditation and financial challenges, our faculty, our staff, our coaches, like yourselves, continue to show up. I know you all are both alumni. And so what is it about SAU that makes this campus so special? Why do you believe in SAU? And why are you fighting for this university? And why should all of us as faculty, staff, coaches, alumni, why should we continue to fight?
I'm fighting for SAU because SAU saved my life. It gave me the opportunity to come to school and get an education. It allowed me to be the first in my family to get a degree. It also gave me a platform to be a professional athlete when I never thought I could be one. It gave me the opportunity to be not just a professional athlete, but an Olympic gold and bronze medalist. So many friends and family that I created along my journey here, and all the massive community that we have of just SAU family. We can't let that go just that easy. And then for me, I'm the testament of you don't need a big school to be successful. You don't need a situation where, you know, you have all the resources and all the money. It's a lot of kids go to University of Duke that don't go to the NBA. A lot of football players that go to Alabama that don't go to the NFL. So I'm a firm believer of it's not where you're at, it's where you're going. And this school been nothing but gracious to me. It's been open arms. I'm just proud to be a vessel for them to show people that, hey, you want to be a 400 hurdler, you need to go to St. Aug. Well, Batman won that. So it's school been nothing but a blessing to me and my family. My wife went here. Me and my wife graduated together. So my first baby was born right here on this campus. So this school means so much, so many great memories here. So as a former student, as an alumni, as a former professional athlete, it's my duty, it's my goal to continue to keep this legacy going and continue to push hard for my alma mater.
Thank you, Coach.
And like Coach Bat, I too am the first in my family. My club coach, Timothy Hickey, reached out to Coach Williams, and I was given an opportunity to leave Philadelphia and come to, St. Aug and be able to do what I love and pave the way for my little cousins who were coming behind me to show them that, although your parents might not have been able to attend college, that you can still do it and inspire them and to come back home and to be, there are people that are still here. Coach Carrington, he was one of my professors, Leon Carrington, Miss Ann Brown was here, and Miss Swain, and so many people. And just to come back home and be with people that were here that poured into me when I was here is big. And I will do anything that I can to help the administration and anyone else to try to get the resources that we need so we can continue to be successful. And there's a reason why HBCUs were built. HBCUs were built because we weren't always given the opportunity to attend PWIs. And now, we have to work hard. Like Coach Bass said, from 1867, we have to work hard so that we can be able to continue to be that light and help, shape the lives of young people and show them that they have an opportunity to attend college and do great things. He always says, it's not where you're at, it's where you're going. And so it is personable for us. And we are vested. So that's why we're able to show up and fight and grind and, talk to people and, make waves for our student athletes. And try to be an inspiration for the faculty and staff as well, because we know that it's difficult for everybody during this time.
Well, I just want to thank both of you for taking the time out to be on this show. Thank you, Coach Bat, for coming on your birthday. For those of you who are watching, please wish Coach Bershawn Batman Jackson a happy birthday.
It's my birthday,
Thank you,
and I'm
Coach
right here.
Gary, for coming on. Are there any last words that you want to say before we wrap it up?
We need your support. We need your support. At the end of the day, nothing else matters but the babies, I like to call them. I know they're not babies, but the kids that are walking around on this campus. We need to put everything else to the side and just remember that they are at the forefront of our minds. They should be. They are the most important people walking around on this campus. It's our job, it's our duty to invest in them and to continue to be open so that we can help shape the lives of the future.
Any last words, Coach?
Like Coach Gary said, support matters. It takes a village. And I think that we just need the community to continue to stay behind us as we prepare for the NCAA championship in 2 weeks. And to the people out there that got doubts, I got other opportunities. I feel like I've done really well along my journey, but I'm here for a purpose. I'm not going nowhere. Coach Gary not going nowhere. We want to continue to build this story. Continue to add to this amazing journey we already created that Coach Williams put in place for us. So, don't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone. I feel like we're going to be okay. God got us.
Amen.
And we're going to be right here.
Amen to that. And I want to thank all of you, the viewers, for watching the 6th episode of the Bird's Eye View. We want to remind you to please support the Falcon Pride Initiative. When you support the Falcon Pride Initiative, you'll see the link in the comments. You are supporting our accreditation efforts, you are supporting our financial stability, and you are supporting St. Augustine's University athletics, and right now, our men's and women's track and field team. Thank you so much for watching tonight. This is your host, Demarcus Williams, AVP of Global Marketing Communications, and you're watching the Bird's Eye View on WAUG. God bless you. Have a great night.